And welcome to the all-new That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Today, we're going to talk about one of my new favorite topics, that's SEO. With the building of my new site, I've been learning a lot about SEO, and I love talking to experts in the field because I learned that much more than I can use for my own show, my own website, and for you, the listeners, as well. My guest today is Kris Reid, founder of Ardor Media Factory and Ardor SEO, and he has dubbed himself the coolest guy in SEO. And as the founder of Ardor Family, he began the legacy of providing top quality backlinks and SEO services, building his team from the ground up. So Kris, welcome to the program today.
Hey, Jamie, thanks very much for having me.
So SEO, I mean, that's all the rave right now. There's so many people out there in this space, everybody claiming to be SEO experts. So my first question to you is, how do you even differentiate yourself in this crowded space?
Yeah, that can be hard because pretty much to call yourself an SEO expert, you just say it and boom, you suddenly are, apparently. And so there are a lot of charlatans in the area, in the industry. I mean, There's a lot of great people too. So it is hard to differentiate yourself from that. And actually, I was speaking to a friend just yesterday who used to sell newspaper advertising, and he's now in the SEO game. And he was mentioning just how different it is because, like, newspapers, you know, business to business as well, but it's much more of a set price. You know, like SEO, how much does it cost? You know, like, does it cost $200 a month, $2,000 a month, $20,000 a month?
Well, it's also one of those things, too, that you can't show an immediate return. You can go in there and do the adjustments, but it takes time. And so for an impatient client, they want to see, and we're in such a, on-demand society. I mean, it can be difficult to maybe appease some people, too, can it not?
Well, yeah, for sure. It is an investment that does mature over time. You're not going to get instant returns. But, if you are after instant returns, SEM, search engine marketing, AdWords is your go-to there.
So how did you then get into the SEO space? Did you build a website and you found out, oh, this SEO stuff's kind of neat, I can make some money on this? How did you find the space?
So I'm a software engineer, and I used to always work for banks building desktop applications. And after the global financial crisis, I lost my job, like many people working in finance. And I was playing around building an online game, actually just to learn how some web programming worked. And then I thought, well, how do you get people to your site to play the game? And so I started learning about SEO and thought that's super interesting. And many years later, here I am.
And so what year did you launch the company?
So I really got serious in the game in the SEO field in 2010. So yeah, 7 years now. In 2010 to 2017 now, how more crowded has this space become? I mean, in 2009 and 10, people were still learning about SEO and getting in the game. Now it seems like everybody out there is some type of SEO or social media provider. Oh, I mean, I'd still like a blue ocean. Like, there's just so much market out there for everyone. Like, you could have 10 times as many digital marketing companies and it'd be fine.
Now, how do you keep up with all the changes in the search engine optimization industry? I mean, it seems like every week or month, Google's changing their algorithm, Bing, Yahoo, they're all changing their things around. How do you even keep up with all that?
So Google does constantly change their algorithm, and they're always just trying to do the same thing, provide a better user experience for the end user and better search results. So as long as you are providing really good content that people want to see, then you got nothing to worry about.
Now, one of my questions is, I've had websites for years, and I just built a new website, and I kind of got into the SEO thing. How do you know what words that you should try to rank for? Obviously, for instance, if I want to rank for the word entrepreneur, I'm probably not going to rank for the word entrepreneur with a new website. But, can I find something, a variation of that? And how would I know where to go look to find a word that I could maybe compete for? It's sort of like I use the analogy of, I'm not going to fight the heavyweight champ before I fight the underdogs, the undercard people first. You got to work your way up to fight the heavyweight champs. How do you advise in that field?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we have a number of customers who are in the hotel area, and it's really hard for hotels to compete against like hotels.com and booking.com and TripAdvisor. These are huge authority sites. They spend millions of dollars building their brand and getting their site ranked, and Google trusts them. So your little site's not going to beat them like that. So you need to go and find the low-hanging fruit. write good content and about what you do and in your field, and you can see where that content ranks. Like, if you should always provide content that's not made for search engines; it's made for people. Like, that's one of the Google updates that's come over the last 15 years. Is they got better at really reading content and seeing what it's like to make sure that users are getting what they want. But you can go and look at where you're currently ranking for things, because it's much easier to move from number 90 to number 10 than it is if you're not ranking at all. But generally, we find with new customers, we'll go and find, especially if they have an established website, you can find a host of keywords that they're on page 2 for.
But where do you go to search these keywords? What site is there that I could go and say, all right, let's see how I might rank for this. Let's see how competitive this word is. Does Google have a tool like that where I can go and...
So Google has a tool to help you with keywords. It doesn't help you where you rank. So there's other tools like SEMrush and Ahrefs, which are designed to help people with SEO. So they kind of reverse engineer Google. So you can throw in a website and it'll tell you all of the keywords it ranks for and show you about its competitors and things like that.
What were those sites right there? Could you say those again?
One is SEMrush, SEMrush.com.
SEMrush, okay.
And the other is Ahrefs, which is the HTML tag for those links you click on
right.
a website to go to another one.
Okay, we'll get those up in the show notes as well. I've been looking for a couple of good sites because, like I said, my site right now, what I do with it is every interview gets its own page. And I try to maximize SEO and everything. But so each show, I'm thinking, what keywords can I put in here to help this show, rank in the future? And so I need a good site to kind of see what words I could compete for without competing for something that's just too high up on the ladder. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. The other thing you were talking about to find other keywords is, so Google makes all their money through AdWords, right?
Right.
The paid ads on Google. And so they have to provide a resource for you to be able to look at keywords and see how much other people are bidding on them and how much search volume there are. So you can use the Google AdWords tool. So you go to adwords.google.com and then you can even just type in your site and it'll show a whole bunch of keywords that it thinks your site should rank for, or you can put in some ideas yourself and have a look around. And really, the more valuable, the more higher the bid for a keyword is, the more competitive it's going to be. Like lawyer terms like personal injury lawyer Miami, things like that, you might be looking at $150, $200 a click.
Right.
Because they're super valuable keywords. So ranking for them is going to be very difficult.
Now, the number one thing that somebody can do for SEO, for natural SEO, for not paying SEO, is in the URL name of their website first. I talk about this a lot on the program. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you should put a lot of thought into that website name, because that right there is going to give you the best natural SEO. Am I not correct?
So there is an argument for and against that. So that's called like an exact match domain or a partial match domain.
Okay.
So we have lots of customers that'll have like Sydney Locksmith, sydneylocksmith.com.
Right.
And so that will rank nicely for Sydney Locksmith, and that works great when someone's just looking for a locksmith. Like right now, they don't care about the brand; they're locked out of their house and they need a locksmith. Where if you're building a brand on something, so if I had called that company, and then next week you needed a locksmith and you go, hey, Kris, what was that locksmith you called? And go, I can't remember.
Right. And I see your point there and everything. So from a natural SEO standpoint, then how does somebody, should they just, do keywords even rank much more? I've been told that, it's pretty much pointless to put in keywords anymore into the different page edits. I mean, does it just come down to the title tag and the head tag and whatnot? I mean, just from a natural, SEO ranking?
So you certainly want to write your content for the user, for the end user. If you have awesome content and it ranks for something that's not relevant because it's keyword stuff, then people are going to bounce back. A really good example is there's a great SEO site called backlinko.com.
Okay.
And he's a huge authority, and he wrote this article called How to Get High Backlinks, High Page Rank Backlinks, How to Get High Page Rank Backlinks. And it ranked for the keyword how to get high. and stoners tend to not be looking for SEO stuff,
right?
And so he noticed it because he got a huge spike in traffic. But Google quickly realized that all these people would go to the website and then bounce back and come to Google and then click on something else. So they quickly realized that content is not about that, and it dropped in ranks significantly.
If you ever find yourself ranking for something like that you don't want to be associated with, are there ways to protect yourself and say, hey, Google, I don't want to be ranking for this. This makes me look bad?
Well, generally, they're trying to work out what your content is about. So if your content is about something strange, then maybe you shouldn't remove it.
Currently talking to Kris Reid. He's the founder and CEO of Ardor SEO. Again, ardorseo.com for more information on his SEO services. Now, you're based overseas, correct?
Yeah, I'm in Cambodia currently.
Cambodia, and you're taking clients from across the globe. And I want to talk with you about how you build up your business from Cambodia and getting clients from across the globe. Also want to talk to him about, getting your site to be a trusted site. And that all comes down to, getting those good quality backlinks, an area that Kris is also an expert in. So we'll talk with him when we come back from the break. Learn more again, ardorseo.com. Learn more about this program at thatbusinessnetwork.com. New episodes air each weekday morning at 9 a.m. on the site. And please connect with us all across social media. We'll be back in a moment. And welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. My guest today is Kris Reid, founder and CEO of Ardor SEO, and learn more, ardorseo.com. Now, Kris, getting your site to become a trusted site is tantamount to, search engine optimization, getting those trusted backlinks. It's not just so much putting, the keywords and the title and the head tags. There's a lot more to it, and that stuff just comes really with relationships and time. And I know that authority building is an area that Ardor SEO specializes in. Can you help me elaborate on this, please?
Yeah, so a good way to think about it is like Google doesn't know everyone, right? They have to rely on everyone else's opinion to get your authority. So imagine you were a chocolatier and you made the best chocolate in the world. Well, Google has never heard of you, but they've heard of Nestle. Nestle's big and everyone has heard of them. And so they can trust that it's going to be a decent result. So because they're such a big authority, if you're looking for chocolate and you get sent to Nestle, well, you got chocolate and it's not too bad. It might not be the best in the world, but it's an okay user experience.
Right.
Where sending them to an unknown site, it's risky. They might get the best in the world or they might not even get chocolate. So that's why Google prefers big brands or authorities. And how you become authority is by everyone speaking about you, just like in the real world, right? If you're the crazy man standing on a corner shouting, then people might see you for a minute, but then they'll quickly not ignore you.
Right,
you need to be providing great content that people want to listen to and talk about. And when you are that and people are talking about you and linking to you, that's when Google goes, hey, this guy does know what he talks about. Maybe his chocolate is pretty good.
And so these backlinks then are links from other sites that come to your site, and there's no way you can control those directly. You got to have those relationships, and so Ardor SEO, I know, specializes in that. So how does it work for myself in getting these backlinks? Do you have how do you build up these relationships yourself, and do you say, hey, put some backlinks to this site and this site? How does that all work?
Yeah, well, it is time consuming and it's hard, but it's certainly worth it. I mean, if you want your site to rank, then it's certainly worth it. One thing to think about is that an internet business is no different to a real world business. If you're a baker, you've got suppliers and shops you work with, and a community, a business community. It's the same online. There's someone that you work with. There's people that if you're business to business, you've got suppliers and customers, and they're the people you should work with. I'm a yogi myself, and I work with many yoga studios because they're terrible at digital marketing, and we help them because that's not their passion. Their passion is yoga. But we help them share their passion. Other people are looking for information. They're looking at, where can you go for different yoga retreats and, different information and other people's, stories. And you can help them out with that content,
Now, you're an SEO company, and you're also obviously competing for business, trying to use SEO different terms. So you're in a difficult space to try to compete with on an online level. I mean, how do you even begin to think, well, I know obviously SEO is going to be a difficult word to rank for, but how do you look at it from your own business perspective and getting found on Google?
Yeah, so you need to provide good content. I mean, that's why I have shows like this, and hopefully I'm providing some value to your listeners. And that's how we get our word out, because a lot of people aren't thinking about digital marketing. Like I'm putting together a presentation at the moment for a speech that I got coming up, and I hired a professional speechwriter to help me with it. And I asked her, I said, why doesn't your site rank for anything? Why haven't you done SEO? And she just didn't even know where to start. She never thought. And since I've been speaking with her and telling her about how it works, she's like, wow, that's amazing. And she's a smart woman that works in, communications, but just has never thought of it.
Now, you're based in Cambodia. Have you always lived in that country? And talk to me about how you're able to build your brand, in Cambodia and get business from across the globe.
Yeah, so I'm an Australian, not Cambodian. I lived in Europe for 6 or 7 years, and then moved to Asia about 5 years ago. A lot in the Philippines and here. Our biggest office is in the Philippines because that is a really great place for Philippines workers. They're excellent English, probably the best English in a non-native English speaking country. But I like Cambodia better, so I live here.
Now, do you find that you're able to target geocentric targeting, these SEO services to these different countries versus trying to compete solely in the United States? Does the majority of your business come from the United States?
The majority of our business comes from Australia, the UK, and also the US and Canada. But certainly developing world like Philippines and Cambodia, they don't really have enough business online to compete for SEO so much, so it's not really worth it.
I mean, is that an opportunity for businesses in the States to try to target, businesses that are, overseas and using, search engine optimization to maybe reach people that are, across the sea?
Oh, if they're looking for it, for sure. I mean, the European Union is a massive market. It's it's bigger than the US with GDP. So certainly, if you've got products, translate them into Italian, and you can. If they sell there, go for it.
Now, a new topic that's been, all the rave in Google the last couple of years, and I'm hearing more and more so about it, is the use of structured data and rich cards on a site. I've discovered all this because of Google Webmaster Tools. If you have a website, you should have a Google Webmaster Console. It helps you, learn a little bit about all that stuff. But leave the hard stuff up to the experts like Kris over at Ardor SEO. But talk to me about what this structured data is. Is this something that people really need to be paying a lot of attention to?
Yeah, it is for sure, because structured data is how you get rich snippets. So rich snippets are those little pop-ups that come up. So if you type something like how to tie a tie, you'll see like this graphic, and
it shows it has to do with how it displays in Google. Instead of just having a little, couple, text lines, it shows like a whole box and a graphic, and it makes it much more, appeasing and eye-catching.
Yeah, but also one detriment to that is that often that's all the information that you need. So like if you Google, what's the capital of Poland, it'll have like a little rich snippet about Warsaw, and then you don't need to go to the website. So, it's not great for the website owner. But the good example of how to tie a tie is they have a 9 steps of how to tie a tie, and right. The rich snippet shows 5. So that you actually have to click to go and get the others. So it worked out really well for them. They
just recently started supporting podcasts through the use of rich cards. I went to their site. I followed their instructions, but I don't know if I did it right or not. But for the podcasters out there that are listening to the show, take some time and do a little bit of a research into the structured data in the rich cards. It's a whole nother language, but through their Webmaster Tools, they make it a little bit easy that you can highlight things and then put it on your console like that. Any recommendations for the use of rich cards and structured data?
So it generally comes up for things like what is, how is, what, question type answers. So anything that you rank for, and you don't have to be number one to get the rich snippet. So if you're ranking, like, you have to be in the top 10 generally. There's a very minute that ever came from there was a really good blog post recently, I think by Ahrefs, and they analyzed 1 million rich snippets to give some good data. And the majority of them were from the top 3. So if you're number 3 for what sort of keyword, you can steal the rich snippet. You just need to provide a better structured data than they do, and away you go. So
now we hear a lot about using video on websites these days. Is it effective enough just to embed a video from YouTube? Is that going to be recognized by Google as content, or is it because it's being pulled from a third-party site that it's not considered as relevant?
So YouTube is owned by Google, so they love it. Any chance that they can rank a YouTube video, they will. So putting a YouTube video in your site, they love it too, because it keeps the user in the Google environment.
And I've been hearing rumors. Obviously, they always say to transcribe your videos because Google can't hear what you're saying. But I'm hearing rumors that they are coming out with technology that can listen to what you're saying on these videos, and that can help rank. Have you heard anything about this?
Oh, they certainly do. There's automatic title tags that you can put on your videos. They can read what you're saying and do a pretty good job. It's not perfect, but
it's a growing technology, and so versus the days of still having to transcribe the videos, though. But in the future here, there'll be more technology that can listen to what people are saying on videos, and then we'll begin to rank for what's being said.
If you've got an Android phone, they have a Google Voice keyboard available, so you can just hit, and even Google Search has a voice activation that you can just search with your voice, and so it's the same. It's listening to your voice and determining what it said. So it can do the same with video.
Got a couple of minutes left. I want to close up a short talk about the other search engine, Bing. I know it has webmaster tools and a portal. And I'll be honest with you, I like to use Bing a lot of times because I feel like Google hides some things from me. So I like to go see what Bing has to offer. How much attention should business owners be paying to that search engine?
So it depends what you're doing. Bing has about 30% of the search traffic in the US. So that's still big numbers. It's much cheaper for paid pay-per-click, the AdWords. I'm not sure what Bing's version of AdWords is called, but it's much cheaper than Google. So if you are paying for clicks, that's a good place to start. But realistically, with SEO, we still focus all our attention on Google because, go after the 70%. Once you run out of traffic there, you can go pick up the rest.
Well, good discussion. Kris Reid, founder and CEO of Ardor SEO. Learn more at that website, ardorseo.com. Kris, any closing thoughts or words?
If you're looking for me, just Google the coolest guy in SEO and look for my pretty face.
All right, sounds good. Kris, thank you so much for being on the program with me today.
Cheers, Jamie.
ArdorSEO.com. Again, ARDOR, ArdorSEO.com. And learn more about us at thatbusinessnetwork.com and find us all across social media. And please subscribe and leave a review. It helps our show grow. So again, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.